this week's programme, we talk to the architect behind the new Limerick Stadium. We have highlights of the first round of the Tyrur Ted Champion Bitch Stake from Galway, plus the semi-finals of the Tote Cup from Shelbourne Park. The biggest event in Galway Stadium's history, the €65,000 Tyrur Ted Champion Bitch, got underway last Saturday night. Over the next few weeks, we'll see some of the country's top bitches in action. But for now, let's take a look back at some of Saturday night's highlights.
In Heat 1, the favourite here, number 3, Lolo's Choice, brilliant tracker, really the one to beat. Number 5, Late Delivery, a strong finisher, and 2, Asheville Katie, another big fancy.
And they hit the lids, and 2, Asheville Katie away quite quickly. 1, Lug Hill Emily also banged there on the inside. Here's Lolo's Choice in third. They hit the first bend, and 2, Asheville Katie still leads by 1 from 3, Lolo's Choice for Paddy McCormack. Banged there in second. 4, Culmore Gift back in third, and 1, Lug Hill Emily certainly close enough, but needs to get going. The second last bend, Lolo's Choice gets the prime position along the fence and opens up by 1. 2, Asheville Katie still banged there. 4, Culmore Gift back in third, but the 5.25 track record holder from Waterford. 3, Lolo's Choice wins in fine style. 2, Asheville Katie through for second. 4, Culmore Gift qualifies in third. The time 30:15.
In Heat 2, number 4, Ballymac Floss looked the one to beat, but big reports of number 6, Ballybrazil Tara, while 2, Tyrur Kitten was representing the sponsor.
And they hit the lids, and 3 away well in the centre. Girl with Guitar for Francie Murray showing some nice early. 6, Ballybrazil Tara bang there on the outside. 5, Dark Lynn between Greyhounds. They run it cleanly in up front. Girl with Guitar for Kieran Lonergan and Castle Blaney opens up, leads by 2. 5, Dark Lynn for Eugene Robinson bang there in second. 6, Ballybrazil Tara still in a good position to qualify around the final couple of corners. It's Girl with Guitar opens up by 2. 5, Dark Lynn more to give in second. A big battle going on for third between 4 and 6, but up to the line. 3, Girl with Guitar wins in style. 5, Dark Lynn through for second. Looks like 6, Ballybrazil Tara qualified in third. The time a quick 30:07.
A very interesting runner in the third heat was number 1, Express Wish, winner of the Unray Stake at Clonmel. Big fancies too for number 2, Cherokee Lady, and 5, Cherry Mix.
And away they go, and 5 away well on the outside. Cherry Mix showing some nice early. 2's the prime pitch along the fence. Who gets the lead? It's a 2-dog along the inside, but 5, Cherry Mix regains on the outside. Cherry Mix, Cherokee Lady won't go away on the inside. Cherokee Lady finds a gear into the second last bend and opens up by 2 or 3. 1, Express Wish more to give on the inside. 5, Cherry Mix now back in third. They turn for the judge. Cherokee Lady for Anne Wade has opened up a big lead here and is going to hang on in fine style. 2, Cherokee Lady your winner. 1, Express Wish through for second. 5, Cherry Mix qualifies in third. The time 29:91.
In Heat 8, sponsor PJ Fahey had Tara Margaret running from trap 5, but it was big word for number 1, Droopy's Dior, 2, Agent Goodnight, and 3, Droopy's Mo.
And they hit the lids, and 3, Kilkenny Baby first on the bunny. 2, Agent Goodnight bang there on the inside. Here's Ogilvy Teresa, a big run on the outside. They go around the corner, a little bump up front between the leaders, but 3, Kilkenny Baby emerges with a nice lead. 5, Tyrur Margaret, a big run up the inside for the sponsor PJ Fahey and Glenn and Maddie. It's 5, 3, 1 and 4 around the final couple of bends. 5, Tyrur Margaret still leads by 1. 3, Kilkenny Baby will not go away in second, and there's a big battle going on for the third qualifying position, but Tyrur Margaret wins in fine style. 3 through for second, Kilkenny Baby, and 2, Agent Goodnight in third. The time 30:20.
Well, it was a great night's racing here at Galway for the first round of the richest ever competition run at the track, the Tyrur Ted Champion Bitch Stake. The second round next Saturday night, and that's something not to be missed.
Seamus McCluskey from Hamilton Architects in Derry is one of the key players in making the long-awaited Limerick Greyhound Stadium a reality. An avid racegoer himself, we wondered if this was an advantage to the creative process of designing stadia.
Very interestingly, I sold myself in my presentation to the Irish Greyhound Board as having this knowledge of the track and how things work and so on. And to be truthful, I wasn't absolutely certain how much of an advantage it was. But over the years, in trying to explain to very well qualified and very, very astute architects within the organisation here how I wanted things done, and then to see how they had misinterpreted what I had said, Then I realised actually it is a huge advantage, and interestingly enough, now that we've had a few fellas that have gone through the process with me, they're starting to catch on to a lot of the things that only going to a Greyhound Stadium gives you. And as I say, I thought that perhaps I'd oversold myself in that regard, but as it turns out, I have to say the knowledge you get from going to stadiums and seeing how the interaction between bookies and Tote and all the different things that happen in stadiums and how the whole greyhound world works from the perspective of a breeder and a trainer and an owner, as well as just a punter going to the track or somebody wanting to go to the restaurant. Having that all sort of in your DNA and in the way that you work is a great advantage, and I'm pleased that it has worked out so well, because I never like to oversell myself. Limerick is a big priority with the Irish Greyhound Board at the minute. They have briefed us that they wanted to be into planning as quickly as possible, and we put forward a programme where it'll be into planning at the end of April, and that's very much on the cards, and it looks like that's going to happen. The critical thing then is how the planning authorities look at it, and we're setting up meetings at the moment with both Clare and Limerick Planning Authority to just introduce them to the scheme and try and see that everything is fully addressed whenever the application is finally put into them. And we're hoping that we'll get a fairly good hearing, and that we'll get the approval through as quickly as reasonable. If we get a straight run through, it is feasible that we will have the project on site in February of 2007 and completed approximately 13 months after that. But we certainly believe it is very, very possible, and if we have anything to do with it, it'll be open on that date. We've generally speaking delivered whenever we said we can deliver, and we think we can deliver for that date, subject to planning. Well, in the Limerick Stadium, we were asked to try and make a connection between the ground floor bar areas and the track, much more evident and much more user-friendly than before. And in doing that, what we've done is we've tried to create the ground floor bar area that comes up to small terracing that then moves back from the track, and that small terracing area is associated with the bar, so therefore people can come to the bar area, get up and see the racing from this terraced area. It also allows us that whenever there's atmosphere in one part of the stadium, it is generated to all the other parts of the stadium. So, for example, in the restaurant area, if things are quiet or so on, and there's a bit of excitement in the ground floor area, that will spill through the building, and that atmosphere hopefully will encourage people to really appreciate how good a night at the Dogs is. And that's one of the things that we're really proud of in this design. We've got a scheme which will, we think, allow the full atmosphere of going a night at the Dogs to filter throughout the entire building, and each area have its own interrelationship with the other areas. The track design is very closely based on Shelbourne. We have had a lot of good comments back from the Lifford track design, which was close to Shelbourne, but not perhaps just as accurately assessed on the Shelbourne layout. The track is obviously a modern track and has all the banking of the bends, which Shelbourne has to an extent, but not to the full extent that we think we can now achieve. But the running radiuses and so on are almost identical to Shelbourne. But because we can provide the two finishing lines in exactly the location that we want, we've been able to create a 525 yard run to the bend, almost 11 yards longer than in Shelbourne, which we think will be a great benefit to the greyhound owners and breeders who like the long run to the first bend. We've been able to, with two traps, provide 525, 550, 575 and 600 yard distances. And we've also been able to provide a 300 sprint, which is traditional for Cork, and a 350 sprint, which is becoming a fairly traditional distance throughout the rest of the industry. So we think we've got an awful lot of the benefits of the Shelbourne experience and the Shelbourne qualities, and we've added to those a little bit because of the new technologies that have come out over the years that Shelbourne had the advantages of. One of the very interesting parts of this design process is that there is the incorporation now of the Irish Greyhound Board headquarters, and it seems on the face of it now such a very logical thing to do, although obviously, like all the things in the greyhound industry, it takes somebody with a bit of vision to see them to start with. But the vision was to create a complex here that incorporated the headquarters. And the big advantage, obviously, is that we were able to double up on the use of facilities. On the face of it, it seems a very, very astute move to join the two together. And certainly the design has come together very nicely for that. And it looks like it's going to be a goer, subject to board decisions and so on further down the line.
The final of the 2005 DonO'Reilly.com Easter Cup. And away to go, and he's away quite well. But number 4 is out well set out gift. So is number 3, Manola Farrow.
Seamus's intuitive design stemmed from a lifelong involvement in greyhounds. As a breeder and owner, he is synonymous with the Farlow prefix, and only last year won the Easter Cup with Mineola Farlow, who later retired to stud. But Mineola proved to both owner and trainer that his racing days were not over, and is now one of the favourites to take the spoils of the Tote Gold Cup.
Manola Farrow comes to the line. He wins the €50,000 prize.
Mineola Farlow was retired to stud, and we were absolutely, I was delighted with the way he was getting so many good bitches. I mean, Seamus Graham had used Marina's Vintage with him, and a lot of the good breeders had used him, and we got a lot of good quality bitches, about 30 bitches, and everything was going very well. And I have some lovely pups out of them that I'm delighted with. I think the oldest of them is May. But Seamus always liked the dog, and he always kept the dog very fit, even as a stud dog, so he would gallop him. And he kept telling me that every time the dogs went to go to race, that he was acting like a pup, and he was jumping and 6 foot in the air. And he says, this dog, he's not like an old dog, he's like a pup. And he kind of persuaded me that we should trial him and see what he would do. So, but reluctantly, but I mean, Seamus is Seamus, and if he tells you the dog needs a trial, give him a trial. So we trialled him in a private schooling trial, and Seamus said he did a fantastic run. And Seamus doesn't tell me what dogs he beats, but he tells me that he beat good dogs, so I was fine. So I again sort of reluctantly thought, I don't want to bring him back and have him beat by dogs that really aren't good enough to beat him at his best. So I said to him, look, if he comes back at his best, I'll be happy to take a chance with him. So we took him to Newbridge, and he went .09 outside the track record. Second, maybe third run back after being at studs. I said, well, I mean, how can you deny that? Seamus was right. We ran him in the first round of the Gold Cup, and he blew up on the way home, but his sectional to the third bend was phenomenal. And while he opened up anti-post favourite for it, I was amazed at that. But after he got beat third, he then went into the anti-post favourite on his own. I could see no value in it, but we got great value at 5-2 on Saturday night. So the way he ran, I think, showed that the early pace is there, and the early pace is good enough to beat some of the best dogs in training over the last 3 years now. So I don't think we've made any mistakes. We're delighted that he came back, delighted he's shown that it was, what he can do against the new young pretenders. And one lose or draw from here to the final, it's kind of immaterial, both financially and psychologically. We're happy that we made the right decision, and he's shown just what a good dog he is.
So join us in part 2, and we'll see how he gets on in his semi-final heat of that Tote Gold Cup. The thrill of watching some of the country's star trackers perform entice patrons away from their warm firesides to the electrifying atmosphere of Shelbourne Park on a very cold Saturday night for the semi-finals of the Tote Gold Cup.
First semi-final. In one is Mineola Farlow, owned by Seamus McCluskey and Michael McElhatton, trained by Seamus Graham, son of Top Honcho and Farlow Dingle. This brilliant early pacer, winner of the Easter Cup last year, a finalist in English Derby, and back from a spell at stud. The sure leader here, probably from the inside. Number 2, a Han Lad, owned by the Over the Bar Syndicate, trained by Owen McKenna, a son of Larkill Joe and Daffodil Dance. This is a very pacey greyhound, goes up well, stays strongly. In 3 is Galdare Romeo, owned by PJ Fahy and Dermot Cox, trained by Paul Hennessy, a son of Honcho Classic and Leisure Lady. A fast finisher, this fellow, but he's really got his braking right in the previous rounds. In 4, Bad M's, owned by Barbara Lowndes, trained by Brian Madigan, a son of Spira Nikita and Palm Springs. This fella can absolutely fly from traps at times, must be regarded on the run-up. In 5, we have Tray United, owned by Adrian Kelly, trained by Pat Buckley. A Sana Kiowa Sweet Tray and Lemon United. A very much improved greyhound, this fellow. Tray United goes up well and is a powerful stare. In 6, we have Holborn Dasher, owned by Larry O'Rourke, trained by Keely McGee. Son of Judicial Post and Chariot Run. Well drawn on the outside. I doubt it goes up well and stays. The first semi-final of the Tote Gold Cup. The favourite in 1, Mineola Farlow, the hair behind traps. And they're away, and he's away quite well, but it's 5. Tray United leads up. It's Tray United from 4 Bad M's into the corner and 1 Mineola. Oh, there's a pile up on the corner, and it's Tray United, number 5, leads into the back straight from 1 Mineola Farlow. Then comes 6 Holborn Dasher down the far side, and 5 Tray United being challenged by Mineola Farlow into the third bend. It's 5 Tray United, 1 Mineola Farlow. Then back in third is 6 Holborn Dasher. The final bend, and Tray United number 5, 1 Mineola Farlow in second, and 6 Holborn Dasher running on. But Tray United is the winner here. Number 5 Tray United, second number 1 Mineola Farlow, and third number 6 Holborn Dasher. The time 28:85. The result of the first semi-final of the Tote Gold Cup. The winner, number 5 Tray United, owned by Adrian Kelly, trained by Pat Buckley. Second number 1 Mineola Farlow, third number 6 Holborn Dasher. The time 28:85.
Let's take a look back at the race again. Mineola Farlow, the favourite, running in trap 1. Keep a close eye on this one as they break. Mineola Farlow away well, but look at a slight stumble there may just have cost Mineola the race, but all the time on the outside, Tray United showing some exceptional early pace, opening up a length and a half lead and a clean run for him on the outside. 1 Mineola Farlow zipping up the rail, getting that prime position. This trouble here cost 2 a Hain Lad, Galdare Romeo and Bad M's their race, as 6 Holborn Dasher came around the wide outside to qualify in third.
That was a fantastic run there, Pat.
Yeah, good run. He's a little dog, if you can keep him right. He's a very, very pacey dog. He pinged the lead there when he went around the first bend in front, you wouldn't catch him, you know, so hopefully he'll do the same next week.
Well, Mineola tried to give him a run for his money on the home bend, but there was nothing happening there.
Yeah, Mineola, a great dog, but when a dog like this fella gets out 2 or 3 clear, you won't come to him, you know, you wouldn't press him.
And the 5 trap suits him?
Yeah, he seems to run out of any trap, so he's a good, honest little dog, so hope for the best now for next week.
So you're not really fussy what trap you get next week then?
No, any trap, but I will take what we get.
The second semi-final. In trap 1, Group Rooster, owned by Kieran Fallon and trained by Noel Mullins. The son of Top Honcho and Group Special, winner of the Consolation Derby last year, and already this year winner of the KC 575. A powerful tracker, well drawn on the inside. He can either do it from the front or he's a strong, powerful finisher. Number 2 here is Shaw Cross, owned by Tony and Brian Walsh, father and son combination, trained by Mick O'Donovan, a son of Droopy's Vieri and Kildangan Glory. This is a dog with sprinting pace to the bend, a likely leader from trap 2. He'll take a bit of catching. In 3, we have Holborn Post, owned by Larry O'Rourke, trained by Keely McGee, a son of Judicial Post and Chariot Run. He's won 3 of his 8 races. He goes up fast, stays well. Number 4, Hee Haw's Cantona, another powerful starter with brilliant early pace, owned by Kieran Burke and trained by Ian Riley, a son of Honcho Classic and Beaming Heart. This fella's already been back to win the English Derby. He's well drawn in trap 4. Number 5, Dark Davy, owned by Sonia Butler and trained by Larry Dunn, a son of Smooth Rumble and Cozy Feet. This is another one of the early pacers in this race. He'd prefer an inside draw, but he's already run a cracking race from trap 5 here in the past. And number 6, the brilliant Ardfert Billy, owned by Noel Clifford and trained by Francis O'Donnell, a son of Split the Bill and Lizzie Fitz. This is probably one of the fastest dogs in the country. He really flies from that second bend home, and he'll really be powering up the home straight. Second semi-final of the Tote Gold Cup. The favourites are in 1, Group Rooster, and 6 Ardfert Billy here behind the box. Away to go, there's 2 out fast, Shaw Cross with 4 Hee Haw's Cantona. They're going neck and neck, stride for stride to the corner. 2 on the inside, Shaw Cross, 4 on the outside, Hee Haw's Cantona. Then comes number 6, Ardfert Billy, poised in third. Watch him come home as 4 Hee Haw's Cantona takes over from 2 Shaw Cross, and here comes 6 Ardfert Billy. But it's 4 Hee Haw's Cantona. Ardfert Billy now still challenging for second. He still has plenty to do as 4 Hee Haw's Cantona leads for home from 2 Shaw Cross, Ardfert Billy, and Group Rooster running on, coming to the line, and Ardfert Billy gets up in the final strides to win it from Hee Haw's Cantona with Group Rooster third, the time 29:09. The result of the second semi-final of the Tote Gold Cup. The winner, number 6, Ardfert Billy, owned by Noel Clifford, trained by Francis O'Donnell. Second, number 4, Hee Haw's Cantona. Third, number 1, Group Rooster. The time 29:09.
Well, Shaw Cross and Hee Hawes Cantona showing the best early pace here. Shaw Cross, the winner of the Fair Warrior in Mullingar last year, showed some nice early, but Hee Hawes Cantona, a big run on the outside there for Ian Riley. Group Rooster struggling in third, and he still was in the same position as the turn for the judge. For Hee Hawes Cantona, everyone thought he had it in the bag, but Ardfert Billy, what a turn of foot close home to snatch the spoils. Group Rooster also finding a turn of speed close home to qualify.
Matt, out for Billy, a very strong finisher there.
Very strong, very fast dog. If we get a good draw, we'll be in the shake-up of it. I hope we draw 5 or 6 anyway.
Well, he made his run in there on the home bend and really came up strong on the line.
Yeah, he comes up very fast up the home straight. Like, he broke well tonight, but 2 was in his way around the third and fourth and cost him a bit of ground. But when he got away from him, he just flew. So, I hope.
So he's a wide seat anyway, so you're guaranteed the 5 or 6 box maybe?
No, I'm not. There's 4, 5 or 6. So I hope I get 5 or 6. I don't want him in 4.
The final of the Tote Gold Cup will be run next Saturday night at Shelbourne Park. What a race it promises to be. The trap draw in 1 Mineola Farlow, 2 Group Rooster, 3 Hee Hawes Cantona, 4 is Holborn Dasher, 5 Ardfert Billy and 6 Tray United. Well, we're here now after the draw being made for what is going to be a very spectacular final to the Tote Gold Cup. Most of the runners very well drawn. What a race it's going to be. An idea maybe how it will turn out and maybe how they'll bet with Shane Reville. Shane, that's really a smashing final, isn't it?
Oh, it's a race now, a grace on any final on any given night. I'd have to be with the early pacers from tonight. Mineola Farlow in 1. Missed it a little bit tonight. Has an excellent draw now with Group Rooster just on his immediate outside. The 3-dog Cantona, he showed great early pace, so he did tonight, went clear. The 4-dog Holborn Dasher's done well to get to the final. He's probably going to struggle a little bit. He'll be behind early on and staying on. The 5-dog Ardfert Billy, he turned third tonight. I thought he was beat now. He's destroyed me now tonight again, so he has. And the bottom Tray United, another dog I didn't fancy tonight, and he's hit the lids there tonight now. It's the makings of a great final, because I can see the Tray United leading up on the outside if he hits the lids like he did last week. But my personal fancy, if Hee Hawes Cantona goes round in front, there'll be only one winner.
Well, it's going to be a super race to the corner though, isn't it?
It's all about the 3-dog clearing Farlow into the corner. Personally, I think you're definitely going to have to take on Group Rooster. I didn't think he had any obvious excuse tonight. It didn't go up great. He's turned the second bend. He's only 3.5 lengths behind Cantona. He's still finished a couple of lengths behind him. He's going to have to be making up more than 1.5 or 2 lengths from the second bend now. He's going to be reeling these boys in next week.
A smashing final, and what a way it is to kick-start the season. A great race, but Ardfert Billy, they'll all be watching where he is down the back straight. Look forward to this one. Don't miss it next week.
As well as that final of the Tote Gold Cup next week, we'll also have highlights of the first round of the Game Feeds Irish Cesarewitch, and we'll be back in Galway for the second round of the Tyrur Champion Bitch Stake.
For a complete fixtures list and more information, log on to the Irish Greyhound website at www.igb.ie.